Welcome back, 5th grade. We are now on our last video for Chapter 2. This is our Chapter 2 review video to help you get some last-minute studying for your test. How we do the chapter review videos is different than how we do our regular videos. First, you're going to pause the video and solve the problem on your own. When you're ready, unpause the video, come back and check your work. I will provide you the answer and quickly go through how we solve each one of these problems. Alright, so the first problem is 4,560 divided by 48. Pause and solve. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you see up at the top, I wrote down the answer is 95. So the quotient for 4,560 divided by 48 is 95. So let's see how we got there. Well, first, since I have a two-digit divisor, I'm going to look at the two digits in my dividend. I see that 48 is larger than 45, so I have to move on and look at 456. Now, off the top of my head, I do not know how many times 48 goes into 456, but I don't want to sit down and waste so much time multiplying 48 times 6, 48 times 7, 48 times 8, and just trying to figure it out that way. So that's why we make an estimate and use those compatible numbers to give you a good starting place to do your to do your division. So I'm going to change 4,560 to 4,500. And I'm going to change 48 to 50. Because if I look here, I always cover up my zeros and look at my numbers. I can see that 45 divided by 5 gives me 9. And I see that there are 2 zeros in my dividend and 1 in my divisor, so I need 1 here at the end. So 4,500 divided by 50 is 90. So since we did an estimate, I know my answer should be somewhere around here. And then I can use my first digit here to place the first digit. Put 9 on the side. 48 times 9 gives me 432. I'll subtract that 432. I'm left here with 240. So 240 is about halfway of this 432, and I know that I already tried 9, so I'm going to do 48 times 5 and see what I get there. And I do end up getting 240. I know I'm done dividing. Sorry, I'm trying to squeeze a lot in here because all my numbers have been brought down, and I have my quotient of 95. Next practice problem, we're going to add a 6 at the top here. So this is adjust the quotient. Please pause the video and answer on your own. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, if you come back, I determined that this number was too low. So having a 6 in the quotient was too low. So what I did was I multiplied 52 times 6, and it gave me 312. Then I subtracted that 312 from 416, but I still had 104 left over. And 52 can still go into 104, so I know that this digit up here is too low. Oops. Let me get back here. So what I want to do for this one is going to take away my work. Since now that we know that 6 is too low, and we looked at the other one, and it could about 52 could go into the leftover about 2 more times. I'm going to start with 8. And I get exactly my number. So our correct quotient is 8. Hannah and her family want to hike 8 miles a day along a 125-mile trail. How many days will it take them to hike exactly 15 miles? Alright, I want you to pause that video and come back. All right, now that you are back, we can see that we solved our division since it was a 125-mile trail and they wanted to hike 8 miles a day. I took 125 and divided it by 8, which left me with 15, and it left me with the remainder. So my remainder I turned into a fraction. My remainder is 5/8. Now, you can walk 5/8 of a mile and you can have 5/8 of a piece of rope. But in this case, we have to look at the problem because the problem asked us exactly 8 miles. So they can hike exactly 8 miles in those 15 days. And there'll be a little bit left over on the 16th day, but we're going to drop the remainder because they wanted the exact amount of days it would take for 8 miles. Emily has 240 feet of rope. She wants to make 9 jump ropes. How long will each jump rope be? Again, pause that video, solve, and come back and check your work. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you see here up at the top, each jump rope will be 26 2/3 feet long. How I got that is I took that 240 that she had, divided it by 9. I got 26 with the remainder of 6, made that into a fraction of 6/9. Now, again, thinking logically, you can have 2/3 of a piece of rope, you can walk 2/3 of a mile, you can have and pour 2/3 of a glass of orange juice. So in this case, we can use the remainder, and each jump rope will be 26 2/3 feet long. All right, we have 2 more problems, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with me here. Henry and 28 classmates go on a trip. Each van can hold 11 students. How many students are on the bus that isn't full? Pause and solve. All right, welcome back. So the answer is 7 students are on the leftover bus. So what I did was I took 29 divided by the 11 that fit on each bus. That left me with 2 and a remainder of 7. So that 7 was the bus that isn't full, and that's what the question was asking us here. And some of you might be like, well, why is it 29? I see up here that it's 28 classmates. Well, the trick here is that it's Henry and 28 students. So really that gives you 29. Therefore, there are 7 students left over. All right, here's your last division problem. 6,466 divided by 32. Pause and solve. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here that your answer is 202 with the remainder of 2. So let's see how we got there. Since I have that 2-digit divisor, I'm going to look at the first 2 digits in my dividend. 32 times 2 gives me exactly 64. Bring down my next number, which is 6. Now I see here that, well, 32 definitely can't go into 6. It's much larger. But I'm not going to bring down my next number automatically. We have to remember that 32 goes into 6 0 times. 32 times 0 gives you 0 if you wanted to subtract. And I can bring down my last digit. We know again that 32 times 2 gives me 64, which is very close to 66. 6 minus 4 is 2. So here I'm left with 202, remainder 2. As always, good luck tomorrow or whenever you are taking this test, and we'll see you back at school.